Do you know how much to communicate and when to communicate? Do you know what to say and when to say? In business, it can make all the difference. Welcome to Small Business Big Visibility. This is a mini series all about business fundamentals. The things I wish I would have known years ago when I was really diving into this business world of entrepreneurship and growing a business. And today we're talking all about this thing of communication. Have you ever been somewhere where someone is saying way too much, where they aren't communicating clearly, where they're maybe just blabbing? A friend and I were once talking about a mutual acquaintance. This friend told me, I'll tell you what, man, you can't ever talk to that guy for 1 minute. You ask him what time it is, he'll take the time to tell you everything about how the clock was made. Have you ever met someone like that? They're always talking, never saying anything. Maybe they're saying all the wrong things. Maybe they're just talking too much, or maybe they're telling you all the wrong information. A couple of weeks ago, I was at a mastermind event. And during the mastermind, some of the members of the mastermind were going up on stage and presenting in front of all of us. And there were some people who were absolute masters at being on stage and communicating clearly. And there were others who thought that they were absolute masters, and they got up there and they blabbed and they didn't say anything that mattered, and they talked. One person talked for almost twice the time he was allotted, and it was really almost just strange to experience this. It was a little surreal to see somebody get up on stage. They could move the audience, they could communicate with the audience in a way that moved that audience to a new plane, a new way of thinking, a new vision for themselves and for life. And then there were these others, and no matter what they said, it didn't sink in past the skin. And the whole room could feel it. One person kept going back to the same joke about 10 different times throughout just a few minutes of speaking. And that person didn't do so well at communicating. Now, why is that? It's because they didn't have a clear idea of what they were trying to accomplish when they went on stage. That person who did poorly didn't know what the end goal was, didn't know where he was at, and didn't know the right things to say along the steps to get from where he was at to moving the audience to that new concept. On the flip side, we had someone else who knew exactly where they were at. They knew exactly where they wanted the audience to be, and they had a plan to follow each step of the way. In your business, do you have a plan for what to say and when and how? Maybe when you're answering the phone, what's your plan for what to say? When you're taking sales calls and having conversations with potential customers, do you know what to say? When you're onboarding someone, do you have a plan for what to say? Each of these steps, there's things that should be communicated. There are ideas that need to be shared. There's things you should be listening for. And the better you map those out, the more effective your business can be in actually getting business done. Now, let's talk for a second about this rock and draw an analogy. I've been flipping this rock around the whole time we're talking. This is just a rock, right? Maybe, but to you it might not mean anything until I tell some of the backstory. What if I told you that this rock wasn't just a rock anymore? This rock came from a known fossil bed, and this rock also contains some fossils in it. All of a sudden, that changed your view on a rock that I've otherwise just been flipping. Now, maybe fossils don't mean anything to you, and you still don't care. But within your business, when you're communicating to your ideal customer, those fossils in the rock are the key differentiators that they need to hear at those different stages. And there's different fossils buried in the rock of communication that happen when you're in the sales call. There's different fossils you need to pull out of the rock of communication and show people when you're in the onboarding phase. When you're in the customer service phase, there's different fossils buried in that rock of communication that you need to pull out and be aware of. The better you identify what the fossils are in the rock of communication, the more effective you can be at training other people to be good communicators in your business. Now, there's other times. What about talking with your team? There's certain things your whole team needs to be aware of, and you can have a whole pile of communication, and it's nothing but a pile of rocks. But when you can dissect what truly matters communicating with your team, maybe the vision for the company, maybe the expectations for that individual person, maybe understanding what it is that's holding them back. When you can dig into any conversation, understanding what the end objective is, and then stay true to that objective, you're honoring other people's time, you're honoring your own time, and you're getting right down to the fossils in the rock.